welcome back. Today we're going to be running Red Volcano Zone. I don't think there's any follow-up zones to that, so then we'll be on to Egg Rock Zone, which is the final zone. This one is, well, obviously it's a volcano zone. It's pretty sure it's influenced pretty heavily by Lava Reef, Red Mountain from Sadex, and pretty much any other volcano zone ever. We got, what, lava platforms. I don't know if there's any rising lava. And I do hate rising lava sections. Rising anything sections. Especially ones in 3D games where you have to run around in a circle or something around a chamber. I don't know why, but they are my pet hate. Don't know if we'll have any, but yeah, guess we'll see when we come to them. If I remember correctly, there is a section with a large wave of lava, where you just have to go faster than it, really. Jump on a interval. That little turning there, last time I was attempting to speedrun it in the classic version. I say classic version, pre-update. I missed that turning, and I was stumped as I went into the next room, and that is the mistake that they wanted me to make. I was stumped and just did not know how to progress at all. I was completely stuffed. So I had to just quit out and start again so I had some starting momentum. And then I managed to get through using that little way in the corner. Don't know if there is actually any way through the other room, or whether it's another route or something, but I've never found a way through. Okay. Anyway, where is that even going to link up to? Okay, we appear to be going into some sort of factory area now. Ah, this is the lava wave. I don't believe I did that straight away. Okay. This shouldn't be too difficult. Just... I say that and then I get hit several times. I was going to do that skillfully and jump across each platform, but I'm Tails, so sod that. Flying across. And there we are, end of the zone. A lot better than I was doing with Arid Canyon and Castle Eggman Zone 2, Act 2 even. Alright, and we're in the Egg Rock Zone. This is the second hardest zone, if we include the second act of this zone as its own zone. These levels are long, or they're the longest in the game. They contain a lot of new mechanics each time. And they're all based in space, which leads to some hellish spacewalks. And I don't like this corridor very much, so I just use Invol to get past it. Yeah, that gravity flip, as you're going to see here, is one of the most commonly used tricks in this stage. So, a lot of new gravity-related gimmicks. You can now fall into the sky, which, although it sounds poetic, you die in the cold vacuum of space. Also, these walls and random blocks and things, they all damage you. So if you're flying, you get damaged by them, you'll fall either down into the dark abyss of space, or up into the dark abyss of space. And there appears to be a large volcanic core on the moon as well. And this is one of the most obvious parts where there's a character route split. Knuckles was through the wall in front of me back there. Tails was above it, as I'm just showing now. And Sonic was just straight through the Crusher Gauntlet, which is just there. Sonic's requires non-stop speed and is impossible as any other character. Knuckles requires going through that through the little wall down there, and leads you into a lovely little gauntlet of lava floors and falling platforms and annoying conveyor belt things, which I hate. And Tails is one. Have I done Tails? No, yes, I'm doing Tails as one. And yeah, you can do Knuckles ones as any character as long as you can glitch out and break the wall, because it is easiest as Tails and is not impossible as Sonic. But no, it's probably not possible as Sonic actually. It's a lot of clinging onto things and huge distances. So yeah, I don't think Sonic can be managed. That is the first of these two horrible acts. First one didn't seem so bad. That spacewalk section just then, that was only the beginning. This next zone is definitely my worst zone overall. It's the hardest zone, and it contains non-stop horrible gravity tricks. Oh, that's right away there. Those fans take away your flying. So you can either fly well above them, so you're safe, or you have to just bounce up on them normally. If you go too close while flying, they knock you out of flying and drop you straight down. So now I should attempt to do this correctly. I don't think I've ever actually gotten past that part without dying first. I always forget about those fans. This shield I've got now, I'm fairly sure is the 2-hit shield. That always acts under the spacewalk. This shield will block 2 hits, that's pretty much all it does. It might block 3, but I think it's only 2. And as with most shields, going in water will probably short circuit it. And that's another spacewalk section there. Spacewalks are horrible, mainly because it's just it's basically the large water sections from Deep Sea Zone, but with none of the watery stuff to back you up and be friendly, and no timer as well. No pause before the timer, straight into the timer. They are my main weakness, really. Go up that way even further, there's nothing up there. It's pointless. Is there anything behind here? No. The magnet, but it's not worth possibly hitting all of those for it. In one of these sections, I forget which, because I don't do this level very often, because I hate it so much. In one of those little sections there is an area with 2 lives on, so I will be trying to get to that. So I'm not sure how well I'll do. This is the worst spacewalk. I didn't realise this little area was here before, so I used to have to try and run all the way around in one move. I think we'll try that one again. And it was completely impossible. Made this level quite a lot harder than it probably was. That was quite good for me. I usually fuck that one up plenty of times. And I don't really get the point of that, because it does seem to just take us back down to the conveyor belt, which we could reach before. But it wasn't open before, so going outside opened it. Normally I wouldn't bother with all the star posts, but this level, I bought with every single one. And that speed turret there. In any other level, I'd completely ignore it and just dash through. But I hate this level, and it is dangerous. And those little spinny guys, they are hell. They go invincible sometimes, and just stand underneath you when you jump. Unless you're Tails, you're kind of screwed because they can track you quite well. this section, we go out here, and we basically have to go up, and then there's quite an interesting mechanic. We shrink. If I am at that section, I don't actually know what the hell is going on. Alright, it's over here. Well, yeah, we go through. Oh, we're not quite at that bit yet. We are very near to that bit. And there's go through a couple of pipes and you come out much smaller, and it's you don't really notice it until you see the enemies, and they're kind of quite big. Oh, that was a lucky save there. But it's just something about the side of this level which always damages. Always hits me. Something will always get me. It's like the amount of enemies in this is far higher than any other level as well, which probably doesn't help. And there's just so many more hazards. Like, and this zone is just really big as well. I don't remember doing this before. Was this? Is this an updated area? I don't really remember it at all. Okay. No, I don't really know this bit at all. Okay, so we've got the disappearing bricks from Mega Man there. Becoming catastrophic. I haven't seen those in any other game. The kind of stepping, disappearing bricks. This must be a Mega Man clone. Obviously, they completely ripped off Konami. Sega were just like, it's no big deal, man. And Konami was like, hey. Yeah, fuck it, I forget where I was going with that. Yeah, as you can see, the enemies are a lot bigger all of a sudden. And this little vent. Funnily enough, even giant space stations have weird shitty air vents. This is just Half-Life. We're in the air vents. Which one was the was it opposing force where you spent 99% of your time in the air vents? Well, especially in the start of that one. Anyway, yeah, this is the room with the two knives in. As you can see, it's kind of daunting when it's all blown up a bit. Especially these giant jet enemies. I think they're called jettisons. I think that just that name. That's what they're reminding me of. Not sure if that's actually their name or not. And yeah, there we go. Also, they do that. Suddenly they're a much bigger issue when they're giant. Who'd have thought it? So, pop through the pipes, minimise again. Some magical space wizardry. And we're onto the air vents again. I am doing quite well actually for me on this stage. I am terrible at it. I guess some bits of practice have paid off. And there we go, we're out of that bit. And now onto a little gauntlet of things. We got the crushers, then we got lasers or something. I mean, it is a nice little security system. Yeah, this bit. This bit's alright. You just jump through on the one missing tooth of the gear. And then this bit's fun. If you judge it wrong, you die. Some lovely snot green pipes there. Oh, now this bit's strange. I think this is a hark back to SRB1, possibly. It's gone to side view 2D. Basically, you have to run back and forth, and you you hear the laser charge out, and you just got to avoid it. And those walls close in, and then they get to a point where it does get very hard to get through. Because there's like nowhere to run. And actually, why am I doing it like this? Yeah, those get nearer and nearer, and then they turn off. And then you can go through. That bit blew my mind when I first did it. I was like, what the hell's going on? And I think this is the last spacewalk. Because, my god, I hate those things. Oh no, we're at the end of the stage. And that is where I shall leave it for today, because Red Volcano and both those acts, they've tired me out. Next up we've got a race with Metal Sonic, and we'll see what that's about next time. I can't remember doing that, so that could be fun. Anyway, thanks for watching. I am 2bits, and I will see you